Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The show with no L's. Back at it. Your show. I'm just a host, Mr.A. Go ahead and spell it, folks. The RRT Boxing Show with Mr.A. Facts. 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 The show with no L's. Quick little chit chat in the boxing world, talking episode number 8. We're gonna do that of tomorrow, the 27th. Talking a little bit of 4 cards, you should say. 4 cards. Well, there's 5 cards. I like to consider like the World Boxing Super Series its own thing. That's not like a boxing card. So technically, there's 5 cards, but there's like 4 events in the Super Series. 4 cards and an event going on, I should say. So that is happening. So we will talk about that, a little bit of today's news, you should say. The most recent news is probably like the Charlos getting their card. A little talk about that. A little bit about belts, the in-between belts, building up fighters, stuff like that, right here on the RRT Boxing Show. Where today, or whenever you are listening to this episode, it is that time where the 16th wonder of the world was discovered. The RRT Boxing Show with your host, Mr. A. The show with no L's. 16th wonder of the world. Hit that thumbs up. Please subscribe. Help that show grow. And forever, the 16th wonder of the world will be the Boxing Show. Your show with your host, Mr. A. The RRT Boxing Show. The show with no L's. So the 4 cards we will be talking about are the WBO welterweight number 7 Verone, Luis Alberto Verone taking on Jonathan Insney. Forgot his name, but that is a future Crawford opponent with a high possibility. He is a WBO Latino welterweight champion, and we will talk about the belts, like what the hell is a Latino. That's further a little more discussion in the episode. Thank you. So that is about that's the headliner on that card, and that's why we mentioned it, just for because top rank Terence Crawford is going to run out of unstable fights, so people are going to need to mean something. Who are they? And number 7's on its way. Then the next card, I would say, is number 3. The card that is John Ryder taking on the Andre, I forgot his last name. Starkin or something, but I believe he's Russian. John Ryder's taking on a 15-0 guy. Ryder's 26-4. You got Andrew who can move around the ring. He moves around the ring very well, throws punches. He's a nice, like this is like a nice, good domestic, good fight. John Ryder, who is ranked in the sanctioned bodies, this 15-0 guy is moving, trying to be pushed, trying to take Ryder's spot. So you want to see if Ryder's, who's looking tight lately, coming out 2 successful knockouts since his loss to Fielding, knocking out Cox in the 2nd round. So it's like, can his tight, compact style break down Andre? That's the headliner. Followed up with an underneath of, I think it's two darn good fights themselves. We got Chamberlain taking on Watkins. They both come off their first loss, who just happened to be to the Sauce. So you don't think both these guys will eliminate? Just go right there and do another Okoli performance. Okoli has a way of muscling, breaking people down in an ugly way. So these 2 guys, with Watkins looking probably be the quicker of the 2, it's going to be Chamberlain straight 1-2s, I believe, to hit the quickness of Watkins. We'll see. You got Byfield and Cheeseman. That and Byfield, I think, is a great sleeper fight. You got Byfield, I think, is on the cusp of Is he good hitting Jewel for domestic level? Is he talking the talk? Is he moving the move? But can he like fight it? You know, he's right there. Can he be world level? Cheeseman, who just cracked, I believe, the WBA top 15. So this could be a nice billboard for Cheeseman, or a nice still move by Byfield. You know, because the 15 is probably, if you can't quite fight someone in the 12 area, 13, 14, you're probably gonna fight like a good fucking 17. You know, Byfield is a good opponent, and then you got Byfield looking to steal just when Cheeseman gets hot. You know, coming off the loss. Who did he beat? That I can't think of the name now. The guy who's like famous for giving Kell Brook some 2 tough victories. You know, giving Kell Brook victories. You know. Forgot that's who that's who Cheeseman got famous for. Got his big victory on. So that's a nice thing. On that card I'm going Cheeseman, Watkins, and Ryder. So we'll see. Like I said, Ryder, I think eventually shots could catch and walk and catch the point scorer Andre. I think Ryder could catch him. Walking, I'm thinking would be angles and speed, fucking Lomachenko shit, you know. Oh, fucking, what else other than Byfield and Cheeseman? I think Cheeseman is gonna put Byfield in too much offense, and Byfield is gonna be defended too much to be a low volume and lose on points that way. That was Mr. A's pick on that one, where predictions could be a show's limitations. And that's what we're the show with no L's, the Double RT Boxing Show with Mr. A. The show with no L's. Predictions, just a PD show's limitations. Nope. That's a negative. On to the second card of my interest. The Daniel Jacobs headline card. You know, I really don't know. I know Heather Hardy's on that card. And I believe Alberto Machado. I think yes. I am very disappointed that I haven't studied much of his opponent. I like Alberto. Just like he's a decent fighter, you know. And I'm one of the guys who feels he got robbed of his belt. On his fight he won it. They announced him as the new super champion. And then, like, somehow he's not it. So I don't get it. I can understand if it's like, oh, politics. But he was, like, verbally, clearly on live TV announced as the WBA new super, whatever, 126 featherweight champion. And now, or whatever the champion they are, or the 135, 130. And fucking, he's not the champion no more. I could understand that one. Machado has a good little gripe on that. He got robbed. So that I believe is the undercard. That's gonna be the fact that I don't know much about that one. I believe that one, but it's gonna be interesting to see him talking that shit. You got Gervonta Davis, who's not active. So if this guy's out here saying he's the real champion, which he is. He's active. He's going to have an opportunity to show that he is the super featherweight real WBA champion, that some hokey pokey shit was happening to him. He got screwed over. So that is an interesting spotlight to be in for Alberto. I said I don't know the competitor's name. Yondell, I don't know nothing about him. He's 20-1, so you guys might know him. You know, I can't. I'm not looking. I'm trying to go off to just remember what I saw, but that was interesting. So I think that is going to be a nice little build up, because a fighter that we know, to a nice little stay busy, trying to keep himself active, stay at the top of the list. Then headlined by Daniel Jacobs himself, Sergey Derevyanchenko. I'm with Jacobs on that fight. The thing I'm expecting a back foot in close hugging game. Jacobs trying to move. But the thing I want to see, and I'm real interested, because I don't see the technician winning this fight on the back foot. I think he would have to press forward, make Danny Jacobs throw himself some opening gaps, set himself up for feints and counters. It'd be hard for me to see, or at least what I'm looking forward to in this fight. Because like I said, I picked Jacobs on the back foot more in close grabbing to win this fight. But I would like to see if Jacobs could press forward, dominate, dictate the pace, dictate the fight, and put Sergey on the back foot and really kind of like be to who he's ranked. See, he's Daniel Jacobs. It is, the rankings ain't bullshit. I'm number one, or Sergey. Put it on the technician inside game. I want to see if Sergey could get pushed backwards. Because if he does, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. Because I don't think no one's really expecting Daniel Jacobs to be walking down Sergey to take advantage of the back foot reach. So that is what I'm looking forward to in that fight. I'm looking good. I'm looking forward to our Machado, just because pretty good fighter. It's cool that he's champion. He seems to have earned it, at least in the way of boxing today. He climbed up, got those little belts. Beat the champion. Forgot how he got the belt, but he did beat the little dude who dyed his hair blonde. Damn, what was that champion? But he upset him, caught him slipping with that right. So he beat a champion, got his belt, defended it, got screwed. I think he just defended it, but he beat the champion, got screwed, lost his belt to Davis, and now he's on this undercard trying to get his fame back by shouting, "Hey, I'm the real champ, not fucking Davis." So interesting to see that on card number 2. And then card number 1 on the weekend is the Pulev in Bulgaria taking on Hughie Fury. Hughie Fury is looking nice. Looking like a nice upset ready to happen, right? Or is he favored to win this fight? It's in Bulgaria. Isn't that why no one wanted to fight him? Or was everyone just scared that they couldn't get a fair shake? That's always weird. When you hear fighters go, it can't be. How there's no money in a country? This dude in his country gotta be worth something. He gotta be a superstar. And I'm pretty sure getting his superstar money plus your American superstar money can't be that bad. And then it's or less. They think, and this is what I think was kind of weird. There's nothing. Do you think you can't knock him out then? You're like, if it goes to decision, I'm not gonna get a fair shake. Well, fucking knock his ass out. If that's what you gotta do, you gotta do. Easier said than done. But that's what we do here right on the RRT Boxing Show with Mr. A. This show with no L's. We talk that boxing. Hit that thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe. Help your show, your brand new boxing show, grow. Follow the show on Twitter at RRTB Show. RRTB Show. You go ahead and follow that. So those are the 4 cards. The 4 cards that I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully I can cover as many of those I can. I always got to go to work, back and forth. Boxing. Why not, right? Thumbs up for boxing. If you haven't thumbs up yet, hit that thumbs up for boxing. It's right here on the RRT Boxing Show. Go ahead. You can see it flashing here and there during these things. The show with no L's. The RRT Boxing Show. If you're a new show, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe. Thank you very much. And then you got, with that, I said the number 1 fight, Pulev and Fury. And with that, the IBF final eliminator. This person is about a year away from perhaps fighting Joshua Joshua got the WBO April 13th spot. Just defended the WBA with Povetkin, so that he has a mandatory. He has a voluntary at April 13th. Then he's gonna have the WBO. What is his last fight was the WBA, right? So that means unless he's fighting his WBO, I don't know. I'm not too sure about that one, guys, because I think there might be a little loophole right there. He could be fighting Dylan White as voluntary, unless they allow him to still do a voluntary, and he could get a mandatory out of the way. Like here, you could use your voluntary pick on your mandatory and get out the way. It might be something like he fought Dylan White as his voluntary, but now he still has to fight another WBO, and that's like next. I don't know who's the WBO number 4, but you know what I mean. It'd be the next person. He still has a WBO defeat. That a fight, that'd be weird. So we got that fight, Pulev and Fury, the final eliminator. Are people thinking that Fury could go in there and do enough on the move with the 1-2s and the 1-2s with power shots behind? Or are we going to see Pulev actually show us something? I'm not really hearing anything about Pulev fucking Fury up in this fight. I'm hearing that it's a shit fight. Fury better let his hands go. Pulev looks good. He looks in shape, but not hearing nothing about Pulev actually really going to put hands on him. What are we expecting? Fury to get robbed? But how is he going to get robbed? What is Pulev going to be doing to do good enough to get the robbery? Is he going to be walking him down, beating the shit out of him? I'm not hearing too much about that about Pulev, and maybe because, like me, I don't think he's going to be landing much. I think he's going to be missing a lot of punches, hitting a lot of fucking wide shoulders and forearms on the outside. I think Fury's going to be high guarded up, getting him, and then just on the move when he's not fucking being squared up. I could be wrong, but I think Fury's going to be a little more a mixture of the Sexton and Parker fight. Put those two together, and you got a Pulev recipe right there. I think that's what's going to happen. So those 4 cards. Verone, WBO number 7. I think he should retain his Latino welterweight title. Helping his WBO ranked number 7 chance get a little hotter for Terrence Crawford. Coming in at number 4 that card. Number 3, Ryder. I'm going with over Andrew, and with the headline with the undercard of Cheeseman on Byfield and Chamberlain Watkins. Good card. Number 2, Jacobs and Derevchenko IBF strap. Really enough said about that fight. And then number 1, Fury and Pulev. The final IBF eliminator takes on Joshua. Big stuff right there. Now, before we talk about the Progress and the Baranchik WBSS fights, we will talk about the Charlo little card. It's a good card. But just like we've been talking about, what we are talking about on the RRT Boxing Show, the show with no L's, yes, is the Charlo brothers getting that shot, and they're taking on ranked fighters. And this leads me to fighters who we talk about the belts a little bit. How, for instance, Charlo is the interim. He's fighting Willie Monroe. Willie Monroe got himself to where he's at by winning these little tournaments, winning like a WNABA belt for a while. He won a WBO belt. Then he went on and fought. That's how he cashed in on Billy Joe Saunders, by winning those little WBO Intercontinentals belts or something like that. Cashed that in, worked himself up and got Billy Joe Saunders. Then you have Harrison, who's been fighting his way. But I'm telling you, these little bouts, Rob Brandt. Rob Brandt got the WBA. How did, like, yes, we don't follow him and we say he's like whatever, but this is what the belts are for. It's for the fighters you call whatever. You know, how else do they get their shots? While they're doing all the work they're doing to get that level, you know, like people say, I want to see the best, I want to see the best, I want to see the best. Right here on the RRT Boxing Show, we talk about the others who's trying to get that work in to get the best. So that way when they get their shot, they're like, hey, I may not be the best, but I did my work, and we saw it right here, talked about it right here on the RRT Boxing Show with Mr.A, the show with no L's. Hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, share the video, follow it on Twitter at RRTB Show, at RRTB Show. Appreciate it. When we do go live here and there, still messing around with the time. It's a little update on that Twitter at the RRTB Show. Thank you. Now, for instance, we'll go like the WBC. You know, it's just easy, or anything. I know they're a little routine, kind of not routine, but they're set up decently enough. You got the heavyweight champion. Then you got the diamond. Now you got the heavyweight, the interim. Then you have I believe the diamond, or no, it's the silver, then the diamond, and then you have your intercontinental, continental, all that good stuff. And the diamond is kind of like the silver. It's where the silver can't be a mandatory, but that's like how you. I would say the silver is probably like the best of the way I would think it is, the way it's set up. It's the silver is kind of like the best of the C plus belts. You hold it down for everyone trying to build up, or everyone's trying to build up to the champion. Just bracketeers, because it goes the heavyweight champion, the interim. Well, I guess if you take away the interim, I guess it is silver, unless you play the wild card diamond, which you get the diamond belt. This is weird that we're talking about. If you follow the system of belts, it really helps fighters. That's what we're getting at, folks. I believe what hurts the boxing is a little bit of the belt system not being explained, and us as fans not giving the belt system a chance. Too many for us to know. I get it. But like I said, you got your heavyweight champion. He fights champions. You got your silver champion, or your interim, which I think we all know what an interim is. If a champion is hurt, this guy got the belt, and then the champion came back, so he was holding it down while the champion was gone. Eventually, he's going to get his shot. You know, that's what the interim is. You know, he'll get a belt just in case if that something happens. If nothing happens within that given 2-year frame, they'll cash him in like, okay, get your shot. That's what an interim is. So you got that champion interim, then the silver, but the silver can never be a mandatory to. This is the WBC, to the heavyweight champion. They could get high, but it's like the WBA regular. You really never get high enough to earn a mandatory. You hold it down for everyone else, and you have to like prove it. And then there's the diamond belt, which is like the wild card. The wild card is like I guess the best reference is if you're a wrestling fan. You know, some people might be, some people. It should be a lot of people who know the concept of it. The Money in the Bag suitcase is similar to that. You get awarded. They will call you out and say, hey, you know what? If you fight so and so, that's a pretty damn good fight. You know, you can probably cash it in for a voluntary championship fight anytime you want if you win this diamond belt. But I think if you beat him, that's a low tier championship eliminator fight, and they give you a diamond belt. You know, or if it's not low tier, like a good type of fight for a title belt, just not right now in your career when you kind of want to finish doing something, cash in your diamond belt. That's what a diamond belt seems like to me. They give it to you. You don't really defend it unless they mandate you to defend it. They're like, okay, you was in one good fight. this fighting him, we think is the same standards as that fight. It's going to be a good outing, and their opinion that it's going to be a good fight, they're worthy of like a money in the bag, cash it in diamond belt for you. That's what the diamond belt is. If you want to use a wrestling reference right here on the RRT Boxing Show. Now that being said, that belt, then you got the intercontinentals, the continentals. If we allow the fighter that you don't say is who is that, why is that, give him the chance to get, or okay, for instance, even if you don't want to study the mid-tier guys, you're like, who the fuck are they, Mr. A? Fine, whatever. At least give the belt system a chance. It eventually trickled down to the B's and C's, and then you really see that, hey, you know, some of these guys might have chance, or you'll watch them develop into the next level. Now, if we gave the belt system, for instance, really start paying attention to the North American and the North American belt, like, oh, he's if they explain how it works, like the regional for us, you know, in the United States, the North American body, the NABA, that nice little North American belt, if he somehow pumps himself up and he's earning himself to shot to, they got the Continental belts out there. How about the Continental? He's aiming himself for a WBC Continental, not just the USA Continentals and all those. He's aiming himself for a WBC Continental belt, so that way now he can defend it against USA, Mexico, and Canada, and be the champion of all three continents. You know what I mean? That's what the Continental belt is. So he's a WBC Continental. If you start promoting someone like that, like, then this dude's a champion of 3 countries, while you're trying to be the champion of the world. This dude's just trying to be champion of 3 countries. You know, let him do his thing. You know, shit. Just because you champion of the world and you choose not to fight around the world, don't get mad at this little guy who's trying to come up, get his fame by being a champion of 3 countries. You know, you're just doing your job of not getting the belt and fighting around the world. You know, pussyfoot. You know, and when the guys who get those little belts, you know, who get the Continentals and the Intercontinentals, the silvers of those, you know, who earn their shots when they're ranked like 17, and then they get number 12. Yes, we were like, who have they fought? Yeah, they fought really no ones to get number 12, but look at the belts they're getting, but they're doing it the proper way. They're getting the silvers, Intercontinental, cashing that silver Intercontinental for the real Continental. From the Continental, they go Intercontinental, so they could go from country to country overseas, start wrecking shit like that. Then from Intercontinental, they go from they cash it in. They cash it in for the main show. You know, you cash it in, and if you're in a WBA, you cash in your Intercontinental or Continental belt. You cash it in depending on how your career goes. Once it'll land in your lap for one of those belts, you cash it in for the WBA regular, or you get cashed in for the WBA Super. So the belts, if we allowed it to work, it'll really break fighters down the system. We'll have more to talk about. But until then, we're going to cry about certain fights not getting made. And that's where we come to the Charlo card. The belts. You know, Willie Monroe got him where he's from, the one of those WBOs, Intercontinental. Cashed it on Billy Joe Sanders. Lost. Charlo, the interim, which is basically, I think, like I said, he got the belt. Triple G wasn't hurt. So now it's a weird interim. Like, he got it. You usually don't get interims through eliminators. You know, Triple G just got a bigger money fight, and you would think his eliminator just got postponed by the WBC. So by them doing this, they kind of, in a way, blocked Charlo, because as long as he's the interim belt holder, they kind of make him as a champion. Not really. They mandated him to fight Triple G, not the champion. That's just, they're gonna treat him like a champion, especially right now. Canelo's going up. Charlo is the champion. He's going to be making it. That interim is a defense belt. You have to defend it, which I'm really happy to see. You know, I think all belts need to be defended, and that's how we as fans will respect them. If they get talked about. These belts need to get talked about to where broken down. For instance, Rob Brandt just got this belt. You know, normally we say we don't care about this belt, but this is the most I really heard the WBA regular belt talked about in some time. Rob Brandt upset it, Murata, and got it. Like, if there was any other time that this regular belt that no one seems to like means something, it's right now. The newly crowned kid, the guy who just tried to take a chance in the WBSS light heavyweight, cruiserweight 1. He tried to take some ballsy chance, dared to be great. You know, not just one fight. This would dared to be great in a tournament in a new weight class. So give him his kudos. He came back, and you know, too much movement for Murata. Murata landed his own, but it just showed with volume and just movement what it can do. And like I said, Brandt got his opportunity not because of the WBSS tournament. He got it because he built himself up, fighting who he had to get at numbers. Yeah, he got himself ranked number 7s, number 8. That's how he got at the line. And he won himself a WBA NABA championship. The WBA North American Boxing Association. He won that belt. Defended it. He got up to like number 2 or 3, and then he's like, fuck it, I go up into the WBS tournament. And the WBA allowed him to keep his belt in defeat. So when he came down, he got himself the Murata title shot opportunity because he was ranked like number 3 or something with the WBA NABA title. You know, defended that, and look what happens. You know, while he was doing that, no one gave a rat's ass about him. Yeah, that's the guy from the tournament. We don't talk about him, but he was up there putting in work, and that work never gets talked about. So if we got explained that belt system, we could learn about these fighters going in. So it's half, I believe, them not explaining it, and us as the fans, even if we kind of see what it is, we don't give a fuck about it. You know, we don't let those belts blow other people up. So can you imagine right now, I guess the easiest way to say, okay, what's a nice little bracket? You said in welterweight, that's the easiest ones to talk about. You got Spence, he's a champion. You got Crawford champion, Thurman champion. Who's the fucking other one? Can't even think of the other one right now. WBC's is Porter. Alright, so obviously those guys can always fight each other. And then the next bracket of welterweight you probably say is you got Manny as the regular. Who is the WBC intern? But there's a silver. And last I knew, the WBC silver welterweight champion was that funny guy's name that everyone's like, who the fuck is that guy? Quattrilo Abu Hadrov. Last I knew, he was the WBC silver, and then it disappeared from my sight, and then it came back nowhere as Jesse Vargas and Delorme fought for. I believe Porter had it for a while, and then he gave it up to get his Thurman fight, and after that, the silver Quadrillo had it for a little bit because he got it vacantly. He had it. It went somewhere, I believe, because, like I said, Delorme and Vargas fought for it, and that belt is still vacant because that was a draw, and it's about to go down. I think tomorrow, also the 27th, it's going down in, I think, Mexico. 2 Mexicans are fighting for that belt. So that WBC silver is out there floating. When someone lands on it and starts speeding up the rankings, it'll be nice to know who the fuck they are. You know, give importance to that belt. Let us know. You know, I mean, the rankings, some guys like 21-0. I forgot who's fighting, but that belt is moving out there. You know, and like I said, they don't explain the belts. And I think that'll really help the whole boxing stuff. And then moving on to, like, you got the people who work hard the people who get that opportunity, and for instance, Tevin Farmer, you know, he got a lot of those little belts, those regional belts. You know, he wasn't getting no championships handed to him. He earned that. You got Tony Harrison. Yeah, he got up to championship level. But these are imagine him. He's someone who maybe will be the next intercontinental champion. He needs belts like that. I was trying to think, who's a welterweight champ? Who's in the welterweight? That's a big division. I always say that one because a lot of people know the welterweights. So you figure, imagine Danny Garcia or Lamont Peterson, or imagine because you figure Danny, who else is hot in the welterweights? Imagine Adrian Granados or whatever. You're just naming names. If they have belts, and actually like, okay, these guys deserve 2 shots. If they defend this belt once, they get bumped up. You know, they get bumped up to the next title shot. You know, okay, the North American belt, you defended that 2 times. You're about to get a shot at the WBC Continental Champion. And from like I said, from countries to countries, you go. Countries to across the land and on the sea, back to the world, and just build. If you let fighters build up, the belt system just might work. If we appreciate it, if we take time to appreciate it, if it's explained well, because I know hopefully that was explained well right there on the RRT Boxing Show. And like I said, I'm going out. What's interesting is on the Jack Couclet, Mr.A's thoughts of Mr. Jack Couclet saying he's going to be at the Derevyanchenko and Sergey Derevyanchenko and Jacobs match. It's pretty good. I like it. You know, we as boxing fans, we know who Jack Couclet is, and whoever wins this fight, like I said, is number 1 versus number 3 in IBF with Jacobs and Derevyanchenko. Couclet is number 2. They're going to build that winner up against him as the guy who looked pretty decent against the WBO champion Andrade. So they'll fight that, and by him making himself available at this showing, at the Jacobs and Sergey fight, the camera's going to be on him. This is the next guy. It's promoting the other guy, and that's what the belts are for. If you promote the belts. So Couclet, I like it that he's promoting himself. He's number 7 by the WBC, number 4 by the WBO, number 2 by the IBF, and that's what he's cashing in, his number 2 IBF spot. That's a nice little Mr. A's thoughts right there. I wish he would set the trend for other fighters. You know, it's the perfect opportunity. Everyone's talking about it. It's like I said, if you know you're going to fight him, though. That's what I said. What's the point of going to show and show if you know you're not going to fight him? These fighters, it's a business. It's a business. That's why you don't go to their shows. You don't want to fight them. If you really wanted to fight them, you'd be like a Jack Couclet. Go to their fights. Because he already announced it. That's my next opponent. I'm going to fight you next. You know, I'm the number 2. You ain't ducking me, son. I'm getting my title shot. I'm going to be at your fight. I'm going to be scouting you. You want me in the ring? Well, how you want to do this? And that is it, folks. That is the RRT Boxing Show. I'm your host, Mr. A. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe. And remember, folks, tell your friends, tell everyone you know that the 16th wonder of the world, the RRT Boxing Show. Go ahead and spell it. It's facts, folks. The show with no L's. The RRT Boxing Show with Mr. A. The show with no L's. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you very much.